you should probably expect spoilers.
Let it be known right here and now that when it comes to wrestlers, no other character packs a finer display of sparkling charisma than this one right here. Who that? It's John Cena! Hey, no, fuck off! It's Rainbow Mika. What do you think this is? Not gonna lie to you fam, while I do like it, I don't actually know that much about wrestling. I mean, okay, I own WWE SmackDown Shut Your Mouth for the PS2 back in 2002, and I might have watched a bit of TNA a few years ago as well, but for the most part, I don't know my way around the sport properly. Though if you follow me on Twitter, then you might have already figured that out, because when Rainbow Mika was announced for Street Fighter V, I in all my uneducated glory tweeted a screenshot of Mika, exclaiming that she had pulled a DDT out of nowhere, only to be quickly corrected by Mr. Falero that the image I had posted was in fact not a DDT, but a stunner instead. Shame on me! But we ain't here to talk about my moments of lameness, we're here to talk about Rainbow Mika, a Street Fighter character who received rounds of applause across the internet when she bounced back into the spotlight this year. But who is she and what is she all about? Glad you asked, otherwise this would be a very odd show for you to be watching. Born as Mika Nanakawa, Mika graduated junior high school and dreamed of becoming a female pro wrestler. She needed training though and was lucky enough to be accepted as a pupil of a highly experienced female wrestler named Harmageddon Yoko. And oh my god, can we please have this woman appear in Street Fighter V? Seriously, any woman with the wrestling name Harmageddon deserves more than just win pose cameos at the end of a Rainbow Mika fight. Mika then goes on a harsh training regime under Harmageddon for several year intervals, tackling each challenge like a trooper and getting stronger and stronger. The day comes when Harmageddon feels Mika is ready to make her wrestling debut. Although a harsh instructor, Harmageddon is not one without heart, and in a letter to Mika shares a sincere moment with her pupil, explaining that the Bridge of Dreams lays ahead and that Mika is about to embark on a journey to reach the sparkling rainbow at the end of it. With that inspiration, Harmageddon christens her the ring name Rainbow Mika. So, Mika has had all the training, knows all the right moves, and now even has a kick-ass ring name. What is the next step in the grand plan? Promotion! Mika cooks up a marketing strategy that involves her travelling around the world and starting fights with famous street fighters to help promote her name and image. That's brilliant! So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to head over to America and start random street fights with JonTron, MatPat, and the whole of the Game Grumps crew in order to promote my Who Dat show. So I'll see you guys later. I didn't even make it out of the fucking country. Kadikarus beat me up on the way to the fucking airport. So, Mika is off fighting around the world. She meets Karin, who initially thinks Mika's dream of becoming a pro wrestler is funny, and she basically takes the piss out of her because of it. They throw down and Mika gives Karin a good old kicking, to which Karin becomes incredibly impressed by, even going as far as offering Mika a sponsorship deal if she actually makes it to pro wrestler status. If things were not already looking up for Mika, later on in her travels she bumps into one of her wrestling idols, Zangief. Or Zangief. Look, I pronounce it as Zangief, okay? I've been saying it that way since 1990 bloody one, alright? Give me a break. Starstruck, Mika nervously admits to Zangief that his passion for wrestling is what inspired her to also follow a path down the road of becoming a pro wrestler. Zangief is naturally flattered by this and as a token of great sportsmanship offers to have a friendly match with Mika right there and then. Mika naturally jumps at the chance and they have a match. Seriously, in the space of one journey, Mika has gotten wicked promotion, been offered a sponsorship deal for some wealthy chick that she beat up in Japan, and then ran into one of her senpais in a stormy field located in the middle of absolutely nowhere. Why the bloody hell can't my own luck be like that? Sometime after the events of Street Fighter Alpha 3, Mika returned home and continued training, more determined and inspired than ever to become a pro. That's where we left Mika in the video game timeline, though it has been stated that while off screen since Alpha 3, Mika has indeed officially become a pro wrestler and therefore earned the sponsorship deal that Karen had promised her. So now she getting money in the bank too, baby! What a lucky little rainbow she is.
Visual design.
I didn't really notice it until I sat down to start writing the script for this episode, but my god, two Spice Girls definitely became one, since Rainbow Mika looks like both Baby Spice and Ginger Spice did a successful fusion dance. And if you don't think so, then swing it, shake it, move it, make it, who do you think you are, blood? Mika's look is based mostly around gimmicks, promotional marketing concepts, and generally aimed to make her appealing to the universe she comes from so that she has a stronger chance at gaining a bigger in-world fan base. Firstly, the colour sky blue with white accents might offer initial calmness upon first glance, but you're then given bright blonde hair that clashes with the rest of the design, and in a good way. I like a good mix of clashing colours. The blue invites you into what can be expected as a soothing atmosphere, only for the yellow to punch you square in the face and leave a lasting impression on you. It's a great combo of colours, and I like to think that within the Street Fighter universe, it offers people a chance to remember Mika more vividly when stacking her alongside other female wrestlers from Japan. It's not very common for young Japanese girls to have bright blonde hair. I personally thought that she dyed her hair that colour as part of her marketing strategy. I mean, Ken Masters does it. I presumed Mika was doing the same thing, but according to what I've been told, it is her natural hair colour. A young Japanese girl with naturally bleached blonde hair. Darling, you were born for marketing to the mainstream. You are one big walking promotion. Mika definitely cares a lot about upholding her image. So much so in fact that her eye colour will always change to match that of the alternative outfit colour she is wearing, leading many people to believe that Mika wears contact lenses. As far as I'm aware, not many Street Fighter characters have their eye colour change when you select a different coloured outfit, so it seemed to be an interesting point to make here considering Mika focuses a lot on looking good and being coordinated. Her wrestling outfit might simply look like your typical run-of-the-mill female wrestling leotard, but the inclusion of the frilly hip, wrist and neck ruffles again helps to further differentiate Mika from your average wrestlers by making her feel more flamboyant. To me, it kinda looked like Capcom had attempted to throw the cliched gothic Lolita look in at first, but then pulled 90% of it out because, holy shit guys, let's not go overboard with the marketing appeal here, but that's just my personal thought on it. I'd be interested to see any concept designs of Rainbow Mika if anybody knows where we can get some from, because I personally looked around and sadly found nothing.
Well, okay, I did do a Google image search, but then I wound up on a Rule 34 website and spent the rest of my evening there, so don't act like you're surprised.
When it comes down to the look of a wrestler, I tend to lean towards those that have personality contained within the design of their outfit. An average standard looking wrestler looks dull to me. You need to have a bit of pizzazz in your design considering you're part of a sport known for being flashy. Why wear boots and pants when you can turn up looking like a demon from hell, you know? Rainbow Mika knows this and came fully prepared with a design that is flashy, is unique to her, and is overall marketable. But that's only half of what she needs to make the package complete. The other half is having a personality that's going to shine as much as her memorable attire. And does Mika have a personality like that? Oh yeah.
Personality.
Now, as we discussed briefly in the Q episode, when a character wears a mask, it can get quite difficult to read their emotions. And while Mika's mask only covers her eyes, this can still be considered an attempt to hide away behind a shield or a front. I suppose in Mika's case a front is more of the correct label when you understand the fact that she has absolutely catered her image to appeal for the publicity and promotion. Furthermore, it also doubles on the fact that when it comes to this type of sport, wrestlers live double lives. There's the lives they live on screen in front of the media, which is a fronted persona that exists to entertain, and then there's their personal home lives that we as a public are not privy to. Taking all these points into consideration, I find it interesting then that while Mika may wear a mask to separate her personal identity from her wrestling identity, her personality just happens to be especially sincere and honest.
Mika, you're doing it wrong, baby. You're a professional wrestler now. Every single word that comes out your mouth is meant to be complete and utter bullshit. Maybe I should consider a career in professional wrestling.
When Karin offers a sponsorship deal to Mika, she is genuinely excited and calls Karin a nice person. When Mika meets Zangief, she instantly declares how much of an idol he is to her and that if it wasn't for him, she might have never began wrestling in the first place. Although the level of its canonicity is questionable, her ending further shows her interacting with Zangief, so much so that with the amount of mutual respect being thrown around between the pair of them, I feel like they're about to start their own mafia family. The fact is, when it comes to Mika, she is one of the most endearing combatants from a sport that requires you to be anything but your original self. Mika wears her heart on a frilly blue and white sleeve, and if anything, I feel it really adds to her persona rather than detracts from it. She is also one determined young lady. Mika faced every grueling challenge during her training without complaint, never backing down until she had conquered what she was required to do. The mighty Harmageddon herself admired this the most about Mika. Link that determined mind frame with such an expressive outward personality and you've got a character that makes you feel each accomplishment along with her. Every win is a moment of such elation, sometimes even going to the point of shedding tears over it. Mika wants you to feel her journey as she slowly climbs for the top. Sean is another character that is chasing a similar dream, though in Sean's case, we are made to empathise with what it feels like to not always win and have to continuously start over and try again. But with Mika, we are shown the fruits of labour, what it can feel like when you set out for your goals and actually achieve them.
Importance.
Despite her only character arc being in Street Fighter Alpha 3 so far, within one appearance, she had managed to successfully link herself to a bunch of other characters. It's evident that Zangief is one of these characters, and by having Mika admire him, it further builds the status of Zangief. He's one of the strongest wrestlers to the world they come from, and now he has a character who is inspired by him. And actually, Zangief is not normally a character I care too much for, but his interactions with Mika during Alpha 3 are honestly some of the most heartwarming moments in the entire series for me so far. I'm quite eager to see how the two will interact now in Street Fighter 5 since both are present in that game and Mika has gained her pro wrestling status. Then there's Karin, who, like Mika, shares her debut appearance with her in Alpha 3. Two girls need to look out for one another, and it seemed quite fitting that their arcs were written to cross over. Their interaction gives a high level of status to how wealthy and important Karin is, since she casually offered a sponsorship deal to a girl she met 5 minutes ago. Karin has also joined the roster too for Street Fighter 5, and I'm personally wondering how the two interact in that game considering Mika is now being sponsored by Karin's company. Then there's Harmageddon, who is such a background character I can't even find any official art of her, but don't let that throw you off. Any info I've managed to find about Harmageddon displays a strong woman who was once an accomplished wrestler herself, but is now in the process of passing the torch to Mika and is training her to hold it. It's a great story between a strict teacher with a heart and a determined pupil with passion. I only wish they could have actually displayed this in Alpha 3 because it looks like an incredibly strong and important bond for Mika to have, and I do hope Street Fighter 5 offers us some more insight into this. Then there's Mika's tag team partner Yamato Nadeshiko, who began as just part of Mika's promotional art for Street Fighter Alpha 3, but is now actually an in-game character that you can tag for assisted moves in Street Fighter 5. But with Yamato aside, that's 3 characters that have been linked to Mika already in one game. One a long-standing Street Fighter veteran, one who is a character that arrived on the scene at the same time as her, and one background character. How many characters are you important to, Remy? Huh? Unlucky. That being said though, as far as storylines currently look, it doesn't seem like Mika plays a very important role in many of them. With raging demons and psycho drives and religious cult leaders promising a new world order, one girl's dream of becoming a top tier pro wrestler is just a side story. I'm not dissing Mika though, so don't you misunderstand me. I'm just pointing out that so far she has linked herself to a few characters already, and that's great, but now I definitely want to see what she can bring to the universe since she's become a pro wrestler with a successful career behind her. If Mika is here to stay, then I'd like to see more from her in her next outing. And there's nothing wrong with that, is there?
Conclusion.
With Mika, you've got a wrestling character that actually fits more into the whole mainstream side of the sport. Other wrestling characters in the series never seemed to care too much about the bright lights or the fame, they just wanted to get down and grapple to see who was stronger. But Mika loves the glamorous side of it, the drama and the spectacle of it all. She somehow fits perfectly into that mold while still being able to express her truest emotions at any given time. To top it all off, she's got the strength and skills packaged with all of that too, so she's an actual genuine formidable fighter.
Mika is a delightful character to watch, but as I said earlier, I definitely want to see more of her being this professional wrestler that she's apparently become now. And with Street Fighter V, we could very well see that. So Rainbow Mika, you have my attention, go do your thing.